I'm going to go ahead and confront this plot hole.
I just felt like they were being a little dramatic.
But I actually think it works in the plot. I was about to say, I like Newt. What's wrong with Newt?
Which one's that?
He's the British kid.
Oh, I hate the
You
British
didn't like
kid.
the British kid.
He just ticked me off. And that was my first critique of Mini.
I can go in more in depth if you want me to.
This is one of the best movies ever. My friend Asa claims that The Maze Runner is a perfect movie. And before today, I've never watched it. Well, a couple days ago I watched it, but we're going to get into it and break it down. For context, Asa and I make videos every day for a living here at Film Unleashed. And we've been obsessed with filmmaking and movies our entire lives. So it's going to be a great conversation, maybe controversial. But after we talk about the movie, we're going to do a tier ranking for books to movie adaptations. We're going to talk a little bit about editing, which is Asa's role at Film Unleashed, and then we're going to get into our origin stories. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the video, because we're going to be doing more podcasts like this where we review other videos in the future. Okay, now the intro is over. We can actually talk and have fun. Asa, give us a rundown of Maze Runner for the audience who may or may not have seen it so far, and we can just talk about it. I'm gonna give you my initial reaction. We haven't talked yet about the Maze Runner, so you have no idea what I think.
Okay. So Maze Runner is a typical YA dystopian story, big in the early 20 teens. You got Hunger Games, you've got, Divergent, The Giver. And Maze Runner is a very unique story in that universe because, for one, there's actually a male lead usually it's a female lead, but it also doesn't really have any love triangle, which YA dystopia loves to have. It has a focus more on the brotherhood, which I'm a really big fan of. But basically, Thomas wakes up in the middle of a maze and everybody's memory is wiped and they're trying to find a way out. That's the rough overview.
That concept.
I can go in more in depth if you want me to.
That concept for a movie is phenomenal. I remember Hunger Games came out, and I remember this came out, and I wanted to watch it. I wanted to read the book, and it never happened. But yeah, I mean, they throw you into the movie. Typically you have all the production studios, and they don't have the production studios. It's just like Maze Runner.
Yep.
Maybe that was just
they hit you at the gate.
Oh,
with the elevator. Just
bam. Instantly, I was bought in. I was like, let's go. This is going to be good. And he wakes up confused. I knew that was going to happen. I knew he didn't know who he was. And he runs. I was like, okay, this is typical. He's running from all the new kids, or all the kids that have been there. But I want all you guys, you viewers, I'm watching this video with the lens of this is one of the best movies ever. So I'm holding it to a very high bar set by Asa. And does it hit that bar? I'm not so sure. I think I'll give an actual answer at the end of the discussion. But my first I was like, okay, we're good. This is fun. I'm asking questions like, what about this? What about this? And then they throw him in the prison, the little shelter house. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. And then 2 seconds later, they take him out of the prison house. And I was like, why the heck did you put him in there? And that was my first critique of Minnie.
Okay. Well, here, with the prison thing, they have to throw him in there because they're waiting on Albie to come give him the orientation. And a lot of people, I'm going to go ahead and confront this plot hole. A lot of people are upset that they don't tell Thomas what the maze is right away. But if you think about it, Albie has to have a really tight grip on information and everything, because otherwise the whole thing would collapse into chaos. So they have to keep really strict rules in the maze. And I think that's something that a lot of people look over whenever they're critiquing the movie. Okay. I don't know if you had that same critique.
I don't have that critique. I have a similar. It's part of my next thing is my next critique revolves around that, but I understand it. I just felt like they were being a little dramatic. I'm not gonna lie. I thought those kids. I was like, listen here, you're being a little dramatic. Just tell him. But also the what's his name?
Albie.
Albie. Like Albie, get your butt over there and be like, look, here it is. Lay it out right away. Why are we waiting all day to tell this guy? Like Albie, just give him the information. Uh, just let him know what's up. Personally, I was frustrated, but I was like, maybe they want me to feel frustrated.
Hmm.
Is that what? Do you think that's what they were going for? They wanted the audience to be like, "What? Just
Well,
tell him."
so I think, well, so I mean, there's of course the explanation of like the filmmakers have to, they can't give all the information to the audience right away, and so by extension they can't give all the information to Thomas right away. But I actually think it works in the plot because the structure of the community in the maze is sort of a reflection of what Wicked is doing, where basically anything goes as long as it serves the greater good, right? And
Mm,
so that's what the philosophy that Wicked is taking, and that's the philosophy that they're doing to maintain control. And Thomas is the foil to both of those type of philosophies.
I see.
That's what I'm going to go with.
I will say by the time you get to the end of the movie, you're kind of like, and you find out what's going on to an extent, allegedly.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, some of this stuff I can like let slide. Like as the movie progressed, the more I liked it. But I won't lie when I say like the first 15 to 20 minutes, I was kind of annoyed.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no, I get that. I definitely get that. The movie really kicks off when Thomas goes into the maze for the first time. That's when
finally.
the movie is just like bam, and it doesn't really stop.
For a movie called The Maze Runner, I expected them to be in the maze a lot more. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that a hot take?
I never really thought about it that way. I guess they don't spend a lot of time, but I think there's a decent amount where they're like in the maze. Now, they don't really spend a lot of time like mapping it because that's the twist. Spoilers. That's the twist later is that they've already mapped the whole maze and it's all a charade to keep morale high in the camp, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I expected though, and maybe this would have been too cliche, and maybe I'm glad they didn't do it. I'm not saying either way. I expected them to be like, we have to go on the journey, and they didn't know where they're going, and he gets lost, and he's like fights, but he kind of does an extent when he first runs out into the maze and saves that guy, and everyone loses their minds. I'm like,
Yeah.
God forbid I try to help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the main character. He's like the best
He's
character in the
great.
whole thing. Everyone else is annoying. I was like, gosh dang it. I would punch all of you in the face. Eyebrow kid, he's in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just a
Eustace
hateable
from the
character.
third Narnia movie.
Yeah. I think the only movie, well, I haven't watched the one where it was it the Millers? Is that
I've heard of that one. I've never seen it
That's
either.
the one where it's like his face is known for like the eyebrows, the meme.
Yes.
Like you're
Yeah.
getting paid.
Yeah.
But Guardians 3, he's great. But yeah, no, I was
Yeah, he
the
did do a good job in
the
Guardians 3.
whole movie. So the main character runs through the maze. He like tries to save the guy. The Asian guy is like, "Oh, we can't do anything." And I'm just like, "Bro, you're not even trying. You're not even trying. Yeah, you've been there for 3 years, but like lock in. Like lock in.
Yeah,
It's ride or die. You're going to leave the guy there out to dry, like the leader out to dry." So they raise him up, and that was great. This whole sequence is phenomenal. I'm annoyed
yeah.
at that the runner. The main character's cooking. He hides. The thing walks by. It's a little Jurassic Park through a reference there. I'm pretty sure.
Hmm.
Those monsters are hideous. I was actually surprised they showed what they looked like as quick as they did. But I
Hmm.
guess it's necessary for the plot to move forward.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
What are
when
what are some other positives that, like, let's kind of take an overview of the movie. Like let's walk through each of your positives and then we'll go through and we'll walk through each of your
Oh,
negatives.
you want to
How
go
about that?
positive first? Okay, okay. I
Yeah, yeah,
love
yeah.
about the movie, and then I'll rank it. I can rank it at the end, like 0 out of 10.
Yeah.
Uh, no, the chase sequence was great. When like he's like running and he like climbs up and like he can see the whole maze. I thought that
Yeah.
looked great. I think cinematography overall looked really great. I think visually it was vibrant. If you were to compare that to your MCU movies nowadays, and just like they're all that, let's like got that gray filter. You
So
don't.
dull.
It's so dull, and I like the vibrance. Like it feels kind of like a jungle almost when they're in the green area. That was great. The mystery, the question box, the J.J. Abrams mystery box style. Love that. Like the dude that
Yeah.
got stabbed and we didn't know it, or he got infected, we didn't know it. He runs out of the woods. It's like starts choking the main character. What's the main character's name?
Thomas.
Thomas. Thomas. When Thomas the when Thomas the train engine started getting choked, I was like, oh no. But
Yeah.
no, I thought that was good. The girl coming back, that was good. Like, I liked all the mystery aspects.
Hmm.
I liked that. I liked the visuals when him and the runner find that tube area, like the potential way to escape, and they're having to run and the things are twisting. Like you feel the panic there. That's great.
Yes. Yeah.
I think if you're gonna
Absolutely.
have a movie and you want it to be the best movie ever, you have to feel that sort of stuff. Indiana
Yep.
Jones would be probably a top movie. Back to the Future is a top movie. You have to feel the stakes in a
Yeah.
perfect movie.
That part where Thomas is climbing through the thing that's raising up and he's about to get squished and then he like
Mm.
squeezes out at the very end. Like you feel every little bit of that. And it's like you bring up Indiana Jones, it's very much like that when the door's coming down and Indy slides underneath. It's very much the same kind of thing where you're like
Yeah,
make it through.
when the Maze Runner came out, being a Y dystopian era, it feels very different from everything else. And I would
Yes.
say I've seen all the Hunger Games. I've seen the first Divergent. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And now I've seen Maze Runner. And yeah, the Maze Runner is way better than Divergent.
Yep.
Hunger Games and Maze Runner completely different ideas for a movie, which I love.
Yeah.
I just love the concept of waking up not knowing where you are in a giant maze with evil robots,
Yeah.
like mutated
It's a really
things.
cool idea. And yeah, what I like the most is how cheap they made the movie for.
Mm.
I actually forget
What are the
what the budget
stats?
was. Let me pull it up real quick because I've forgotten. But I do remember looking at the budget and going, "Seriously? It's that cheap?"
The
Because
poster is also really great.
yeah. Well, like it puts the modern day movies to shame with how well it uses its budget. 34 million.
43
$34
million.
million budget.
That's pretty good.
Like most movies today, even the ones that don't need that much, are at least 100 mil. Like the blockbusters,
Oh yeah.
and then I mean, of course, the Marvel movies hit upwards of 250 million to 300 million and all those. But it's like this has a lot of special effects. Now, granted, the cast at the time was relatively unknown, so they didn't have to fork out a lot of money for the cast. But like most of the sets are practical actually, like they filmed in a lot of warehouses and
Okay.
stuff. Like the special effects are kept to a minimum because of the low budget, but where the special effects are, like the grievers and stuff, it looks great. Like it looks way better than most of the stuff that's getting forked out now because it's so much faster. Like they have to put out the VFX so fast.
It does. Yeah. What's your favorite thing about the movie before we go into critiques?
Yeah. So like what I would say is what really captures my imagination is the mystery box storytelling. But mystery box storytelling only works if the payoff works. That's why JJ flopped so many times in my mind and why he's not really making movies anymore because he spends all this time making really neat mystery boxes, but then he doesn't really pay them off very well. Now, Star Wars isn't 100% his fault,
No,
but like
no. He set
but
it
at
up
the
in a good
same
spot.
time, exactly. At the same time though, he set up a lot of good stuff and then Ryan Johnson screwed him over.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's kind of the same idea where I feel like a lot of his movies just don't really live up to what the mystery box is promising. Like Super 8 is one of those where like I actually like that movie pretty well, but I feel like the mystery box is just slightly underwhelming. Where there's a lot of little things where you're like, well, what's that? What's that? And then it turns out, oh, it's just an alien, and it's just all alien stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe that's just me. But so like the mystery box storytelling really works for me in this movie. And then Dylan O'Brien is one of my favorite actors. I've seen him in
Really?
quite a few things now. Yeah, yeah, he's great.
What are
If
his
you've ever
movies?
seen if you've ever seen Love and Monsters, he's really good in that movie.
I've
Great
not
movie.
seen it.
And then there's one other that I feel like I've seen him in, but uh maybe not. Maybe it's just the two. But either way, either way, he's just a really likable guy and he plays the part so well. I mean, that ending scene with Chuck, Rip Chuck. I mean, he kills that scene. It's so good.
That is a good scene. Well, it's good acting, to put it that way.
Yes.
I knew that
Really
kid
good
was going to
acting.
die. I was like, there's no way you have
Yeah.
a fat kid. You put a fat kid in a maze and expect
Well,
him to
and
survive with
and
monsters
he's like
chasing
the
you.
lovable. He's like the
Yeah.
lovable kid, the innocent, lovable kid. It's like, yeah, he's toast, isn't he?
I will give them
Yeah.
credit. I thought he was going to die way sooner, multiple times throughout that movie, and he did not die till the
Oh,
end.
okay.
So I
Yeah.
thought that was good. Uh,
Yep.
I almost wish I would have watched it without my critiquing eyes on.
Ah.
But also, if it's a 10 out of 10 movie, it's got to withstand the critiques. Like,
Oh, 100%.
here's and this is where I'm trying to balance, like, is this the movie's fault or is this the story's fault? With a couple things I want
Yeah.
to hit. Uh, I thought it
Yeah.
was written by a woman. Or the story
Ah,
was.
okay.
It's written by a man.
Yep, it was.
I was like, okay. My critique with Divergent is it's very moody and like all girlified, and I'm like, I can't believe any of this. When I watched it, like I feel like if I was a 12-year-old girl, I would think this movie is great. But I'm not a 12-year-old girl. I'm a grown man, so hate that movie. Maze Runner leagues ahead of that movie. Goodness gracious. But no, the kid. Okay, like acting wasn't bad. I understand the rules. I felt like the kids were a little bought in. I'm like, okay, that's a part of it. I can dislike that, but like the story and like where the character is because he's facing off against those things. So you're supposed to step inside the shoes of Dylan or no Thomas, right? And so
Yeah.
Thomas is feeling those things. So that's good that I'm feeling those things. But when he's out there and they go back and he's killed the thing, right? He's killed the what's it called
The Griever.
the griever. He kills the griever, and they go back to look at it, and they grab the stuff, and they don't take the metal leg. Like, brother, you could kill something with the giant metal leg. Also, they have wooden spears. It's not even a spear; it's a stake. Make some spears. Strap the knives to the stinking sticks. You're fighting things with You're fighting a villain that has tentacles and spikes that inject people, and you have a
Yeah.
knife. You want distance. So that was my biggest problem because the whole movie I'm thinking
That's
about
a pretty fair assessment. I
these
never thought of
kids are
that.
idiots.
Of course, to be
Idiots.
fair, Grievers had never like nobody even knew what a Griever looked like until Thomas killed one.
I don't believe
Because
that.
anytime you ever encounter one, you always die. And so, to be fair, they didn't know that they had to make
Yeah.
spears.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, I mean, I'll give you that. But they saw what it looked like and then they think, "Ooh, we should make some
Yeah.
spears."
Yeah.
Because there's no way you're stabbing that. I mean, even the people that get in there and stab or like poke them with their wooden sticks at the end of the movie get yeeted. Get
Yeah.
yeeted. Even after Chuck or what Chunky, whatever is the fat kid gets
Chuck.
yoinked, all about yoinked, and then what's the
Teresa.
Teresa
Teresa saves him.
Teresa saves him, and then the leader, what's his name?
Albie.
Albie.
Yeah.
Albie gets taken away, and
Yeah.
they're like before they go out into the maze, they don't even think to themselves, "Let's make some spears, like some good spears." So,
Yeah.
anyways, it's fine. The girl coming up, that was good.
Yeah. I love it when it keeps you guessing. Like, just when you think you've figured everything out, they bring a new variable in to keep you like, okay, well, what's this about? Yeah.
Yeah,
One thing also I'll say of why I think this movie is really great is how Thomas is an active protagonist, meaning like And in a passive protagonist lets the plot push them. An active protagonist pushes the plot.
Mhm.
So like a good example would be like you can divide Rogue One into two halves, where Jin, the main character, is passive for the first half. Everything that's happening to her, the plot is doing, and she's just in a way along for the ride. And then in the second half of the movie, Jin is making the decisions and pushing the plot for how it goes. And I always find the active protagonists are way more interesting to watch. And like from the very moment Thomas gets in the maze, the things he's doing is actively changing and pushing the plot.
Mhm.
Where if Thomas was along for the ride, nothing would have changed. Like Albie and Mino would have died in the maze, and he would have just kept living and living and whatever like that. So
Yeah.
that would be another big points for me.
Thomas did great. Thomas did great. But those kids, they just annoyed me. The British kid, the
I was about
redhead.
to say I like Newt. What's wrong with Newt?
Which one's that?
He's the British kid.
Oh, I hate the British kid.
You didn't like the
He
British kid.
just ticked me off. Struck a
Uh,
nerve. Just struck a nerve. And then when they're like, he needs to be punished. Whatever. He just
well, with
saved
that,
everybody.
that's all Galley, and Galley's supposed to be the
He
antagonist
is.
with that
He
one.
is.
So
He is. But yeah, no.
yeah,
Like I said, it's more of me being annoyed with those things. It's good.
yeah,
Uh,
okay, yeah.
yeah. And I
Well,
was like,
so
yeah, this is
let me
believable to these kids to be that annoying. Now,
right.
here's my biggest problem with the whole movie.
Okay.
The first part I was like, okay, I'm annoyed. I talked about that. The middle half's great. They get to the end, they're fighting the thing, they're dying, and they get into the tunnel. Right? They can go right, they can go left. They go left or whatever way they go, they find it. Whatever, no problem there. You're telling me eyebrows makes it.
got past all the
He got past
grievers.
all the griefers. He's never run the maze before. He doesn't know where to go. He
Mhm.
solos it that we know of. He solos it. The doors are locked. Like, right, if he follows them, the doors have crushed the grievers. He's not lifting them up. He's
Mhm.
not rewiring the things to open it. There are grievers that are still
Yes.
alive that couldn't get in that were there in the tunnel, the last tunnel. Somehow he gets past all of that
Yep.
by himself. They don't hear him and he picks up the gun. That was the other thing. I was like, pick up the gun, pick up the gun. Stupid kids. They don't know how
Yeah.
to make it.
Yeah.
Dumb. For being the smartest kids in the world, I thought they were idiots. But no, and then he shoots the fat kid, and you're like, whatever.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, I'm curious to see about the second movie. I mean, obviously, they're setting it up to be like it's a disease out there. I don't think it's an actual wasteland. I don't think the sun burn up the earth. I don't believe that one
Oh,
bit.
interesting. Well, so that was going to be my next question is so now that you've gotten to the end of the movie, A, what do you think of the twist? And then where do you think the story's going?
I thought the twist was stupid.
Oh,
I
okay.
I don't, and maybe it's a. I just don't think that there's an actual disease going on.
Okay.
There's no disease. They're in the middle of a regular desert next to a city. Like it's probably like Nevada or something. They probably nuked it or bombed it or whatever. Maybe they built that too. Because here's my thing.
Hmm.
You're telling me that it's COVID-19 on steroids, right? Everyone and there's the sun's burnt the place. Okay, great. And you
Yeah.
spent all these taxpayer. It would be
I
taxpayer
was about to
dollars, right?
say
Like
I
they
like
didn't
Newt.
build this
What's wrong with
maze with
Newt?
their money. That's taxpayer dollars. They build this
He's the British
massive
kid.
maze. How long would it take to build that
You didn't like
maze,
the British kid.
right?
Hmm.
And then you're telling me the people have been searching with the helicopter the whole time to find these kids? Bull crap. If they had a helicopter, and they're looking for the kids, they just would have flown over the maze and flown down the middle, picked them up, and gone off. Those kids signed up for it. Whatever it is, the kids signed up for it and don't remember. I'm calling that. Uh, I love them getting injected with the serum and like starting to remember stuff. That was fascinating.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Thomas's fault. It's not Thomas's fault. They're like, it's your fault. It's not his fault.
Hmm.
They only half remembered. right? Like Thomas was in that coma for like 5 minutes. He probably would have remembered a lot more.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I haven't read the books. I haven't watched the movies. I don't know how it ends.
Well, interesting. That is fascinating. All of your what all of the things, because having read the books and seen the movies, um, so you think that there's no desert, like that, that's all of that, it's still fake and everything like that, and that
Yeah,
there's no disease. Okay, fascinating. I won't tell you what the answer is,
I know I'm
but
right. Maybe.
one thing that I will say is um the books are way better than the movies. I think I've told you that once before, off camera. But
Everybody says that about
yeah,
movies that are books they turn into
the
movies.
get ready for Maze Runner 2 and 3 to be not even close to as good as the first movie, but it does at least give you an ending to the story where it's like, okay, there's the ending. Now, what I will say is all the questions that you have are probably not going to get answered in the movies, but they would get answered in the books. That's
Okay.
the stupid part. That's how bad the movies are. But to answer the thing about how Gally got past all the things, I also think that's really stupid. And here's what's frustrating is the book has that, but there's actually a valid reason for how he did it,
Hmm.
because in the book, and this isn't a spoiler for the future movies, but this is just a difference from the first book and the first movie, is in the book, the lady who's talking to them on camera, she's actually talking to them in person in the book. And she brings Gally out of this door. So like she personally gets at Gally out of the maze and brings him in and basically forces Gally to shoot Chuck using like uh, body control technology stuff. None of that's in the movie, and I'm like, you created a plot hole that didn't need to be there. Because
Yeah.
there's this whole plot reason for why that happens and why she forces him to kill Chuck and all this stuff, but it's all left out of the movie. So that would be my one complaint, and that's where the book. I mean, like at the tail end of the movie, that's where it starts to deviate from the book, and then the second book just completely deviates, like so far.
So
So
that's fascinating. Do they find out? Don't spoil the movies because I watched it with my wife. We sat down and she was like, "So we're watching the next one, right?" And I was like, "No,
yeah.
we gotta talk about. I gotta talk about it on the podcast and let it marinate, and then I'll go watch 2 and 3 because they're so bad. We can cover them at the same time."
Yeah, we can cover the next two. And I will say the third one is like if you were to watch the third one just watching it as a generic action movie, it's actually pretty solid. Like it's a decent action movie, but it's not a good Maze Runner movie.
Okay, and I'm curious to
Yeah.
see without reading the books what I'll think about it because I think
Yeah.
the story of this first Maze Runner movie, I think the concept for the movie and book phenomenal, 10 out of 10 concept. I think the execution maybe like an 8. I think it's an
Okay.
8.
Yeah.
I think
And
visually it's great, but there are some story beats where I'm like I don't feel like it delivers.
yeah.
The first part I was like, I don't like this, but by getting to through the second part, I liked it. Like in retrospect, I enjoyed it. I was like, oh, I see what they did there. But
Yep.
yeah, yeah,
Well, and I think that's totally fair cuz you know, I can definitely look at it and go, yeah, it's a perfect movie because I like it, but there are definitely things where I'm like, yeah, that's not great. That's a little bit there and there, but yeah. I would say 8 is a good ranking.
I think it is. I think
Yeah.
it's generous. I could even give it a 7.5, but I mean, I would give Divergent from a personal standpoint like a 5. Like that movie's
Yeah.
just no good.
I'll tell you what's really funny. I actually really like
Do
Divergent.
you really, dude? I'm sorry. I basically called you a 12-year-old girl
Hey,
earlier.
you know what? I'll take it.
Have you watched that movie recently?
I think the last time I watched it was maybe a year ago. It was at least
Really?
relatively recent. Yeah, it's here's the thing. This is probably gonna be a really hot take. Clip it. I think Divergent's better than The Hunger Games.
Really?
Yep,
I
I
think
do.
The Hunger Games is more believable.
Well, so I think Hunger Games is a better adaptation. It sticks way closer to the book like as far as actually executing what's on the page and what's on screen. Hunger Games probably does the best out of any of the YA dystopia. And then Hunger Games is also very, very well done as far as plot. It's all very cohesive. Divergent is not either of those things, but just genuinely, just personally, for not really any particular reason, I just kind of like Divergent better. I don't know. I just
Interesting.
enjoyed it better.
Which trilogy, or I guess Hunger Games is a four-parter
It's a
technically.
trilogy.
It's a
The
trilogy
stupid
with a
two
two-part
part
movie.
is
Which
such an
which trilogy
unnecessary
do you
one.
think is better out of those three?
So if I was to take actual trilogy, it has to be Hunger Games
It has to.
because Divergent didn't finish. Divergent was supposed to also do the stupid two-part thing, which it was so dumb. Everybody tried to do it because Harry Potter did it, and so they were like, "Oh, we can squeeze more money out of the audience." Mockingjay should have definitely been one movie. The first part of Mockingjay is like it's like a filler episode, but for an
Part
entire
one of the
movie.
Mockingjay is the worst. You could skip
Yeah,
it
it's
and know what's
terrible.
happening. Yeah.
Now, with Divergent, they also tried the part one and part two. Part two never got made, but at least I can give Divergent the credit that the part one stood on its own merits. Like, it wasn't a half movie. Part one of Allegiant was actually like, it was a cohesive story, start to finish. But Divergent goes down because it didn't get to finish. And then Maze Runner, comparing to Hunger Games, Maze Runner is just not as good because of how far downhill it goes in the second movie. Like it's just so I have to give the trilogy to Hunger Games,
Is
unfortunately.
is the Maze Runner trilogy bad because like the story is bad, or does the just overall quality in general drop off with each movie?
So like objective quality, the movies are well put together, but there's two reasons why they're so bad. Number one is because of how far it deviates from the book. But maybe you're a person who doesn't care that it deviates from the book, and that's fine. But the reason why it's also bad is the second reason that the second book the second movie creates plot holes that are insurmountable, and you'll see
Oh.
why when you watch it. But
So even
it's
as
a
just I haven't read the book, there's going to be plot
yeah,
holes that are massive.
watching it objectively, I'm sure you'll come back and you'll be like, "What the heck?" It it's crazy. Like it's so dumb, and it's a plot hole that didn't have to be there if they had just stuck with what the book did. But we'll get
Interesting.
into that when you watch that one. So
Yeah, that was a they were into the parts back then. Do you remember Avengers 3? It was they announced Infinity War and it was going to be Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. It was even
yeah,
3 Part 1 2 and then Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and 2. And they
yeah,
they changed that real quick to Infinity War and then
and then
Avengers,
Endgame.
and they didn't even
Yeah,
say it was Endgame. They didn't release the title for.
yeah. They just said Avengers 4, and they
Yeah,
didn't release it to like the trailer. I think actually. Yeah,
I think you're right. Yeah,
yeah.
because everyone was
It's a
trying to
much
figure it
smarter
out.
decision. Yeah.
So smart. I mean, that's what concerns me with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, because they did do it. Supposed to be a trilogy and they did a Part 1.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting one. And hopefully we actually get it next year and they won't delay it again. As of right now, it's set for next year to release. But yeah, that's what's so annoying is like um Across the Spider-Verse was really good,
Oh, it's so
but
good.
they treated the ending like it was the ending of a TV show episode. And it's like, I still think that if you're making movies, you have to conclude it in some way. Like, Empire Strikes Back leaves off on a huge cliffhanger, but there is a conclusion to what the story was being told in that movie.
Yes.
Like, it just, that you can't just end a scene and then say the end. It's just, that was my one complaint with Across the Spider-Verse. But,
Actually,
yeah.
I think Into the Spider-Verse is better than Across the Spider-Verse. But I think that's a
Oh,
hot
I
take.
agree. Into the Spider Verse is better. Like
Yeah.
it's just it's very small things in my opinion, but it's just those little small things where it's like it's a slightly better movie.
I
Yeah,
felt dude, people love Across the Spider-Verse.
they really do.
They
Yeah.
love it. I think it I've watched it once. I watched it in theater and haven't watched it again. And if anyone
Hmm.
knows me, I love Spider-Man's my favorite, right? Like Spider-Man's like, dude, I've watched the amount of times I've watched Spider-Man, any of the
Yeah.
movies, insane. And that's the only Spider-Man movie I've watched once.
Yeah.
It's
Well, and
because
like,
it feels like you watch half a movie. That's what it is.
hmm
Yeah.
it's very hard to watch. And this is what's going to be interesting is whenever we finally get the third movie, I think it will be good. But let's just pretend like if it's a bad movie, I think retroactively it's going to make Across the Spider-Verse a lot worse. Like Across the Spider-Verse is relying on the next movie to be good because otherwise you watch Across the Spider-Verse by itself or yeah, Across the Spider-Verse by itself, then it's an unsatisfying ending, but then you're like, well, but the next movie's bad. That's why the first one is so much better, where you can watch it with pretending the other two don't exist and it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why The Force Awakens is a lot worse of a movie now than it was when it first came out. Because it's
Hmm.
kind of the same idea. The Force Awakens was a decent movie, but it was relying on the fact that the other two were going to be really good because of all the things it set up. But now that the two movies are really bad, the first one is so useless that retroactively it's a really bad movie. It's just, that's why you need a roadmap. You need a roadmap
You need
whenever
a
you're making
roadmap.
a trilogy, which is why I'm confident that the next Spider-Verse is going to be good
Oh, I think it's gonna be great.
because the sequel was supposed to be all one movie and the script was so big they just had to split it into two parts.
I think
And so, I think it'll be good for that reason that it's like they do have it planned out. Yeah.
I agree. I think it will be good. I think it'll be phenomenal. I think you'll be able to watch all three, even just part one and two. I think it'll just flow because like there's great parts of that movie. It's more of a Gwen movie, or the first 20 minutes is all Gwen,
Yeah,
which I
which
don't
I
care
really
about.
liked.
I
Oh,
know people like
okay.
it. I did not care about it. My sister, she
Yeah.
loves
Okay.
Spider Gwen. Like that's her favorite Spider-Man movie. Uh,
Nice.
and I'm like, I want regular Spider-Man. Miles Morales is so fun, but I love the chemistry between him and like, even
And
the
Peter.
Peter Parker, just
Yeah.
some form of Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And it
I
takes
hope
so
Peter.
long to get to Peter Parker.
Yeah. I hope Peter B. Parker gets more screen time in part three, and I think he will, because they kind of brought the whole team back, which I
Mhm.
thought was really cool. Like we got Spider Pork back, we got Spider Noir back, and so like they're gonna be doing their stuff, which will be really cool.
The
But
villain setup
yeah.
though in Across the Spider-Verse is great. I should rewatch it. But just
Dude,
like
he is such a good twist villain.
oh,
Like you they I love how this has turned into Spider-Verse, but I'm here for it. I love how they took you dismissing a villain of the week and then making him really scary by the end. Cuz like almost every superhero movie has the villain of the week first.
mhm.
Like uh even if it's not like an actual like super villain, like so in Civil War, Cap goes and wrecks a bunch of guys on that boat in the beginning of the movie just to kind of
Winter
set the
Winter
tone.
Soldier.
In Winter Soldier,
Yeah.
just to kind of set the tone. And a lot of movies do that. Superhero movies do that. Well, they'll bring a lower tier villain so that you can just kind of get things rolling. And so they do that, and you assume that's what it's going to be in Spider Verse, and then that villain of the week hates being the villain of the week and levels up his game, and it's like shoot, he's a threat now, like a
Yeah.
really scary threat. So yeah, absolutely, like chef's kiss to the spot for that one.
That ending, though I hate it, it's a massive good cliffhanger. So
Oh, it's a really good cliffhanger.
I'm
I'm very excited.
I am excited. I should rewatch it because that movie came out like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I rewatched it like a month ago because my brother had never seen it, and I was like, man, this is still just so good. So I would recommend it. Like if you ought to check it out again and see what you think now that it's been a little while.
Yeah. Oh, if you've
Crazy that it's
made it
been
this
3 years.
far, if you made it this far into the video, the goal is to do a re to film the not next week's podcast, but the following week's podcast in the parking lot of AMC Theater after we've watched Spider-Man. So stay tuned.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
subscribe.
But yeah, well, shall we jump into our tier list here?
Yeah,
We can
yeah, we should. And you know what we should
let's
have talked about? We should have talked about what
yeah.
makes a perfect movie,
Oh, that's
and then we
okay.
should have teed
Everybody
it
does.
up. But we'll talk about perfect movies later. Let's do a tier list, guys. We're doing book to movie adaptation tier list. And honestly, let's learn from our mistakes here. What makes a good book to movie adaptation? How are we
Right,
ranking
you're
these?
right. We should decide our criteria here. So here's what we can do here. So we got our S tier. I would say we will just label this as perfect. Are you good with that? Like this is a perfect
Yes.
movie, like a perfect adaptation.
But what makes
And
a perfect
so and so
adaptation?
what I would define as a perfect adaptation is holding to what the story is trying to tell.
Mm,
So if that's a certain idea you're trying to explore or a certain like theme that you're trying to flesh out, if the movie loses track of that theme or that idea, then your adaptation is not good.
okay.
And then I think my only other adaptation would be like make sure that you can keep as many scenes directly from the book as possible and still being able to tell that story in a new medium because obviously you have to leave things out. We'll get to Lord of the Rings in a minute, but that's a great example of taking things out but still keeping Tolkien 100% in the center of that story.
Yes.
That's what I would say. What would you
Now,
say?
I agree. So, for the audience and for us, we're not going to judge off visual effects or cinematography. We're going on good. Well, I don't.
I mean, we could,
We
but
could
mainly story. I would say, like we're rating it on the story. How
story.
well does the story translate?
What if we did this? Perfect story is an A. Perfect as an S tier is going to be including visuals and effects.
Yeah, where literally every aspect comes together perfection.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfection. I
I
like
like
that.
that. I like that.
Okay, what's our first one we're gonna do here?
Well, we can't forget, so we'll go ahead and let's do we'll do good story on A tier.
Okay.
And then what's our B tier? We want to go like it was okay, like it was not bad, like it's very middle of the road. We've
Decent.
got 5 tiers.
Good.
So, yeah.
Acceptable?
Yeah, we'll go acceptable.
Acceptable. And then we'll do C will be
Whoops. Except I I can't spell. There it is. Acceptable. And then C tier, what do we want to say? Like mm, what would C tier be like? Not good, like definitely subpar. It's like maybe like just maybe just not good. Maybe we just don't overthink it.
yeah, not good, not good, and then
Not good.
not
But
good,
what
and then
maybe we do this not good but watchable.
or we just watchable, and then what we have F after that,
And then F tier
Last
as
Jedi.
we know, the last Jedi.
Yes.
No need to specify why. We all know why the Last Jedi is so bad. So, here we go. So Maze Runner, very topical. We're gonna jump right into it. So, you know where I want to put this, but even I, according to our own criteria, I wouldn't say it's a perfect adaptation because my complaint about Galley at the end of the book would have been fixed had they done a perfect adaptation. So
I think
if
it's a
I'm
B.
sitting here rating it, I would put it in A,
You would
and
put it
you would
in
put it.
A?
I would put it in A.
A
Yeah,
perfect story? But it's got the
right. That was
plot
our
hole. It can't
criteria.
be an A. It's got to be a B.
Okay. You're right. That was the criteria for good story. Was well. Here, let me change this to perfect story. Okay, there we go. And so acceptable. So yeah, I think probably acceptable is a fair.
I
I
know
think
you
that's a
hate
fair
it. I know
place.
you hate it, but it's
No. We got to stick to our criteria. We got to stick to our guns. Okay. So I have read Divergent and seen the movie.
oh,
You have seen the movie. What would you rank it as far as story? Let's get your
that's a great
take.
question. And before we go any farther, let me preface all of the movies on this list. I have read books to about what three? Lord of the Rings, Narnia, and did we put
Lone Survivor?
Lone
Do you
Survivor
have
and Lone Survivor? To my
Okay.
knowledge, if I recall, I've only read those three books. So,
What about The Outsiders? Have you read The
oh, I read The
Outsiders?
Outsiders. So four out
Okay.
of whatever
Okay.
many there are. So Ace
Right.
and I are gonna get to bicker and also have just a
Yeah.
good, just like conversation and
And then I have read
perspective.
most of the others of these. There are a few that I have not read.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Twilight, but
F
yeah, we'll
F
get there. We'll get there. So where would you rank Divergent?
Divergent. Gosh darn it. Uh, on a story concept of a story, it's. I actually hate the concept of a story. I don't think it's believable.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It's not last. I would. Would I watch it over the Last Jedi? I just remember the subplot with like her family dying, and I was like, I saw that a mile
Oh,
away. I saw that happening the moment we got introduced to them. I was like, they're dead.
I got you. I got you.
Her sneaking out, the teen punk. I'd put it. I'm gonna be gracious. I don't think it's Last Jedi bad. Like I would watch it. I would put it in whatever D is. A B. Oh, wait, S A
Yeah,
B
okay. So
C.
you would put it in the not good but watchable.
Not good,
Not
but
good but
watchable.
watchable.
What do
Okay.
you think about the story?
And so what I think about the story is I'm actually with you. Like the idea that you could actually feasibly get society to stay in those factions and not deviate or diverge.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look what he did. He did it. It's the thing.
Though I will say there is a plot reason for why that happens. Um, do you care if I spoil it for you?
I'm never gonna watch those movies, so go
Yeah,
for it.
I figured. So in this future, humanity got to a point where they could perfectly edit the human genome. And so it got to a point where people were so locked into certain characteristics because of how much genome editing was happening. So like all the people who are in, the truth telling faction, I forget the names of these, but like they're kind of their nature is geared towards that and all the others, and that's why it holds together so well. And the whole thing is like a big experiment to see if those people could reproduce like humans that are normal again. And so the people who are divergent are just normal people, and that's why they don't fit in any single one, because their genes are like they're not geared toward one specific characteristic. So
So
there
it's
actually is a plot reason why, but I am with you. It's just a little bit like, okay, but I mean, come on. But
it's a science experiment is the twist at the end of the story
yes, it's
because they're gated
funny.
in.
Funnily enough, kind of like Maze Runner, where it's all kind of a big experiment, but it's handled completely differently. But
Okay.
yeah, if I was to rank these as an adaptation, and that's what I because so the first book and the first movie, much like the Maze Runner, actually really good. But then the next two movies deviate pretty heavily from the books. I don't know why people can't just understand the concept that what the audience wants is an accurate adaptation. But if I was ranking it for how it holds up as an adaptation, there's very few changes and just some things are condensed. So I would actually rank it same as Maze Runner. That's what I would
Really?
put it
Okay.
as.
I
Yeah.
respect that. That's
Yeah.
where starts to get fun because I think that story is not good, but we're not ranking it off what the
Yeah.
story is.
We're
It's
ranking on how good it translates to the screen.
okay.
Okay, To Kill a Mockingbird.
Ne-
So
Never watched it, never read it.
never watched it, never read it. So
I thought it was
what I
boring.
would say is I've never read it, and so I can only rank it on the story, and I would put it in the S tier. I would put it as
Whoa.
perfect.
Okay, what is the
Yeah.
story of the Mockingbird? Because I
So
thought it
this
was always boring whenever I heard it.
so it's a very slow movie, and it was made a long time ago. So I'm also taking into consideration like that if it's an older movie, I'm gonna give it some slack for being a slower paced movie and that kind of thing. Um, but the basic story is it's a very good critique of racism, basically, and in I think in a very good
Interesting.
way, because we don't need to get into the whole
Is it
racism thing, but
racist or are they learning to not be racist? What's
so the story is the main character is this girl named Scout, and her dad's a lawyer, and he takes on a case of an African American guy who gets falsely accused of a crime, and the
okay?
whole story is around that and a bunch of other goings on at the same time, where there's this mystery going on for like what's going on at this house, and the kids are like really curious about it and stuff. and it's a really good story. I'm not going to spoil about
That
how the
actually
case
sounds really
goes or anything
good.
like that, but I would definitely give it a watch. You know, Gregory Peck is amazing. The courtroom sequence is really good. It grips you from start to finish. And it really does. There's no music in the entire courtroom scene, and it's just Gregory Peck, like, making this amazing case, and like all this stuff, and so yeah.
That
There's a young Robert Duvall in the movie, and
really
he has like maybe 2 minutes of screen time, but like really good story, really good story. So
would interesting. Yeah, no, that I don't know. I must have thought of a different movie because I don't think I've ever heard the story or the concept.
okay,
Should we
okay,
make a row for books or movies we haven't read books to?
yeah, I
Because
think
I
that's
feel like if
fair.
that's in an S tier and we haven't read the book, I feel like we're doing disjustice.
Yeah, I think
Great
that's
story,
fair.
but haven't read.
Great story, didn't read. All right, nice, nice. Okay, you're gonna have to take the reins on this one. We got Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, I haven't read the book.
Me neither.
I watched the movie. My wife
Okay.
made me watch The Pride and the Prejudice, and first of all, I will never watch it again, Lord willing. Cinematography phenomenal, music phenomenal. I think
Music
if I
is
was
really good.
watching it, I mean, I think the way I like Transformers, 2007 Transformers, is the way women like Pride and the Prejudice. So I think it's
Yep.
actually great. I think it's a phenomenal movie from
Yeah.
perspective of a woman. As a man, it's
Yes.
not made for me. And I don't think
Mm-hmm.
I like it because of those reasons. Also, my biggest complaint is it's British. Like you have to turn subtitles on to understand them. Like, hello, oh, I love a person. Oh, I hate a person. Oh no, go to door to door. Give me a cup of
Yeah.
tea. But no, the parents, the mom in that movie. Oh, hilarious. I hate her, but it's fun, and the actor executes it well. Overall, it's probably could be considered an S tier movie, but I just haven't read the book.
Yeah. So according to my sister, it would be an S tier movie as far as an adaptation because she's read the book, obviously, and so we can put it up there. But I think it would be fair to put it in great story didn't read. I think that
Okay.
would be a very fair place to put it. Um, d- if for no other reason, I think it's an S tier movie because it has an endlessly quotable line, even though like I'm not even that big of a fan of the movie, but the potatoes line, you're sitting down to dinner at the holidays and you pull out that potatoes line, it's
What is the
amazing.
line?
What wonderful boiled potatoes.
What wonderful. Yeah, I
There's
thought
more,
it
I
was.
forget the exact quote, but it's
I thought
great. It's a
the
great quote.
the just the chemistry was good. I thought like I mean
Yeah.
there's stakes to it. Like you like hate people and like there's like is she gonna have to marry this stupid cousin? I thought the beginning was slow, but then again, I mean it's a perfect intro for ladies. And
Yeah.
I was the first 10 minutes of the movie, I was like just thinking about how it was made the whole time, just to keep focus, because otherwise I was gonna like look around the room. And
Yeah.
Maddie, like we had to pause, like a phone call came or something. She's like, "What do you think so far?" She's like, "Are you?" She's like, "You're not paying attention." That's what it was. My wife was like, "You're not paying attention," because I missed words. I said, "Babe, I can't understand a word they've said the whole first 10 minutes of the movie." I said, "But I know." I said, "This has happened. This has happened. They lit this scene with this, and they have a light there. I thought the sunrise was beautiful. They did blah blah blah." I was like, "The whole one at the beginning is executed flawlessly." I'm like, clearly they. I said, "You can't tell, but I can tell they went from handheld over to a dolly through the house, and that transition is seamless." And she's like, "Okay, be quiet. I'm gonna watch the movie now." I was like, "Fair, fair, fair, fair."
Let me watch it without a filmmaker yapping. Nice, nice. Okay, well then we've got Arrival. I have not read the book. I didn't even know it was a book until we were researching for this tier list. Have you seen the movie
I've
Arrival?
seen the movie. It's a fun movie.
Okay,
It's a thinker for sure. But I
okay.
don't know how I
I
feel
have
about
also
the
seen it.
ending. I think
Yeah.
it's good.
So if I was to rank it as the story, I actually found it kind of underwhelming, and maybe that's just me. but she's trying to translate what their language is, and then you find out that what they're trying to do is teach her a language. And I guess that's kind of cool, but also I'm just like, but it just felt a little bit underwhelming. And it
Yeah, I'd
was,
give it like a B
yeah,
to be generous.
acceptable. I think acceptable.
Yeah.
It the visuals are great. That's not part of the criteria, but I am an
Oh,
endless fan of Denis Villeneuve's visuals. We'll
so
get into
good.
that when we talk about Dune. But yeah, I think acceptable is a way to go. Narnia. Do we just want to take do we want to take the first movie, or do we want to take the first three and like lump them together as adaptations?
Let's take just the first movie.
Okay.
Let's take
So I
just the
have
first
not
movie.
So I
The
have not read the first book. So you tell me
the
how good is
first
it as an
book
adaptation?
and the movie, they're almost identical. Besides the stuff they had to cut, I don't think they added a single thing to the movie. To be
Yeah.
quite honest, I'm trying to recall. I've read that book multiple times, and it is like almost word for word. I mean, even the dialogue between the characters is pretty much the same. Like
Yeah.
it's phenomenal. You might get a little bit more with the witch, the ice
Mm.
witch in the book, but I mean, also it is a book at the end of the day. So I mean, there's going to be you can't adapt. You can't film the whole book. It'd be a 3 hour movie or a 4 hour. Now,
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings obviously
Exactly.
did that, but um, for adapting a book directly to a movie on our stipulations we've predetermined, I think it might be perfect. Well, no, I don't think it's perfect.
Yeah.
I think it's an
A perfect
S,
story.
a perfect story. Uh,
A perfect
Aslan,
story.
they crushed it, but there are some CG things that don't take it all the way to the top.
Okay.
I don't know how much. I don't think they innovated too much. I don't think there's anything that's like, oh wow, like you can tell it's dated, but I mean, adaptation. It's probably I think it's perfect story
Yeah.
adaptation.
Yeah. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do perfect adaptation, and then this one will be perfect overall,
Okay, I like that.
where this one hits every single category. Cause yeah, I would agree from what I know of the book, like it's pretty much perfect. And lo and behold, guess what? It's the most successful one of the trilogy. Now, from what I understand, Prince Caspian also stuck pretty close to it. But then the third one is a little bit different. But yeah,
Yeah,
very,
the
very good.
story of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I just think it's easier to adapt. Prince Caspian, you get into more Narnia realm sort of stuff, and I don't think it just plays as well on camera.
Hmm.
I think they would have needed to adapt a little bit more to make it a better story. Though I enjoyed it as a kid before I read the book. Once I read the book, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is a movie I can say I wouldn't have to say you need to read the book. It's better.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's what makes an adaptation like perfect is when you can watch the movie and not read the book and you get the exact same experience pretty much. Yeah. All right, well Lone Survivor is one that I have not read or seen, so you'll have to
Okay.
take the reins completely on this one.
Lone Survivor. What a great adaptation, but is it perfect? So the book covers a little bit of everything. There's a lot of flashbacks in the book. It goes back to him as a kid. Him and his brother are twins. They trained together. They wanted to be special forces since they were like 12. There's a lot that doesn't make it into the book just because it's so violently graphic. Even in the book, there's stuff they've left out just because it's so violently graphic. Recently, though, I mean, the past couple of years has come out. Some of the stuff is propaganda, like he didn't even write the book and whatnot. That being said, though, he did help make the movie, and that is really cool. So he really made sure it was as close as they could get it to what actually happened. Uh, the actual fight on Afghanistan on the mountain in Afghanistan is a great adaptation outside of the stuff that they left out like his one of his buddies gets shot. They did a lot of other things to that guy that are wrong and you hate to see. Um, so like they left that out just because like it's not even honoring to your friend at that point to like show sort of that stuff. It's just so dark. But uh, I think the first 2/3 are really on point. The last third, they kind of change the pacing. Like he's in that town for a while, but it's like they got him right away in like a day before he got rescued. So some of that is changed. Um, I wouldn't say it's Narnia level, but I would say it's a good movie. I think as just an action movie, it's good. It doesn't compare to Saving Private Ryan, and Saving
Mm,
Private Ryan is not even a true story. So I would
right.
put it. It's not on the same tier. Oh, is it the same tier as Maze Runner?
I think so.
Oh, oh, I don't like that. Hold on. Let me. Ooh, we should have made another tier. You got to put it
Well,
there
what
though. You
well
got
what
to
we
put it
can
there.
do is from left to right is how good they are on that tier. So like Lone
Yeah.
Survivors would be at the top, and then this and this and this is
It's
what
a
I would put
true
in there.
story. I mean,
Yeah, and so that one is just a whole different game almost, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to. I mean, Mark Wahlberg does great, but what's
Yeah.
next?
All right, dude, we have Aragon. And so this was a movie that you heard about for the first time when I brought it up when we were putting
Yes.
this tier list together. And so I've read the books. I have not seen the movie because that's how bad of an adaptation this movie is. I didn't even need to watch it to know how bad it was
Oh
because
no.
there's no human being who will defend this movie. I have watched YouTube videos about this movie. It is insane. Um, I'll dive in a little bit, but we're gonna go ahead and put this guy in Last Jedi. So this is everything wrong with bad adaptations. The book has a very cool magic system where, like, basically, if you bond with a dragon, you get magic. And so the force that it takes to lift up this iPhone and put it back down is how much energy it takes to use magic to lift that iPhone up and down, right? So like the magic has severe limitations, so you can't just like levitate a boulder because it would take more strength than you have to give. And so it's a very unique type of style that they go with. And then
Fascinating.
dragons are just inherently cool. There's a lot of pretty good storytelling in Aragon. It has been compared to Star Wars, where it's like people are like, oh, it's just Star Wars, but in fantasy. But I would actually disagree that it does stand on its own. It does tell the hero's journey, but a lot of stories tell the hero's journey. And so that's not really a very fair comparison. And then I think the character work is really good in Aragon. But to save time, Aragon does none of that. Basically, it just has the names of the characters and a dragon, and then it completely does its own thing. And that is why, like at what point, like why even make an adaptation if you're not going to try and get close to the book? Like, if you want to tell your own story, just tell your own story. Like, that's why I'm always like, the people who argue that it has to be different, it's like, sure, things have to be changed, but if you completely lose the identity of the book, then why are you even making an adaptation? You might as well just tell your own story. Like it just doesn't make sense.
You know something we haven't talked about, but I feel like you kind of touched on it almost is like Marvel movies. Like they're all adaptations of comic books, but
Of comics.
also they ride
Yeah.
that line of like it's not a comic book.
Yeah.
Then they change things and it's controversial, but like they
Yeah.
know like they're selling to like a billion people are gonna watch this movie,
Yep.
and there's like a million people that have read the comics, and that's where it's like,
Yep.
how do you
Well, and
balance that? Give
comics are an interesting one because I mean the format in which it's told is so different than a book. And like a lot of times a comic is going to be a lot more shallow.
hmm
Now, like granted, a lot of comics can be really deep and have really like complex storytelling, but a lot of them you have to add or change, and so you can to actually tell a story that's not so surface level. At least
yeah.
that would be my assessment of it. But I don't know enough about comics really.
I don't either. Sadly, I
Yeah.
wish I did. I wish I could be a comic nerd,
Yeah,
but I just
but
am not.
from what I gather online is people would point to like Spider-Verse as being like the perfect comic adaptation, where the
Yeah,
movie basically is just an animated comic. That's
it's
basically what
true.
it is. Yeah, which I think is really cool. All right, we got Left Behind. Okay, so this is an interesting one. We're not going to talk about all of the theology. That's not what we're here to talk about. but we're gonna take Left Behind for what it is, a story. So, uh, Left Behind's interesting because I have read the book, I've seen the movie, and I do like this movie, and I think the reason I like it is because it it's nostalgic of a different time in movie making when a lot more movies like this were getting made, the lower budget movies, but that were still like lower budget movies now are like this entire movie took place in one room. Like that's the kind of standard for a lower budget movie now. As with back in the early 2000s or like the 90s, you had a lot of really low budget movies but that were still had the scope of like a regular movie. And I
Yeah.
think that's what I kind of miss. Like Home Alone is a great example. Like no one thought that Home Alone was going to be a great movie, but it was made for really cheap and so it got greenlit and then it became a cult classic and it made bukus of money. Those movies just don't get made anymore. It's always like a maximum blockbuster budget or like the smallest budget you can get. There's not really very many mid-budget movies anymore, and that's what I would describe like Left Behind as. Left Behind would be like one of those like mid-budget movies. I don't know what the budget was it for, but yeah. So as far as an adaptation, I would say it's a perfect adaptation
Okay.
because it pretty much nails exactly the same story beats. Like I cannot think of anything that's different from the book or the movie. Solid storytelling and yeah, you got a young Kirk Cameron. So,
Hey, people love it. What's up
yeah.
next?
All right, we got Murder on the Orient Express. So
Now,
this is an interesting one because I've only seen the old movie and you've only seen the new movie, and neither of
yes.
us have read the book.
No, I did read the book.
Oh, you did read the book.
I did
Okay,
read the
well,
book. I thought the book
okay.
ended differently.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought each movie and book had a different. I thought they all ended differently, but I was wrong.
Interesting. Okay, okay. Well, give
So
us the
apparently
rundown.
they all murder the guy together. Spoiler alert. It's a little too late for that. We'll flash some text on screen, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So when you watch the book and read the movie, you obviously I'm just messing with you guys. Um, I think it's pretty similar. I it's been such a hot minute, I don't recall. I remember enjoying both. I think I liked the movie better just because I'm a movie guy, but I don't like nothing like I don't think you have to read the book to watch the movie. I think it would be perfect. Just story adaptation. I really do.
Yeah. So perfect adaptation for Murder on the Orient. I keep saying murdy. I don't know why.
Nerdy. It's okay.
Okay.
What's next? Let's get through some of these. This is taking a while.
What we've got left, I have read all of these
Okay.
except for Godfather and Twilight. Okay. So next we got Hunger Games. I have read these and have seen them. And if I was ranking them on how well they actually adapt the material, I think that they are spot on one for one. What
Okay.
would you
I have
say as
not
far
read them.
as okay, what would you say as far as story and like the overall filmmaking merit?
I like the story. I like the story
Yeah,
overall. Filmmaking is good. Obviously, part one of Mockingjade's the worst movie
it's pretty
ever.
bad.
But if we're ranking just are we ranking the first movie or all of the trilogy?
um, I say let's just go with the first movie since we did that with the rest of these
First movie
trilogies.
is it's just a good movie
It
overall.
really is. I would say,
The
yeah.
Barry thing at the end, that's controversial, I know, but it's whatever.
I think I think it works. Like I think that's a realistic thing that could happen where they had to have a victor, and so if both the people die, that kind of puts the whole government in a very bad position. So I
It's
actually
true.
find that very believable.
I find
Yeah.
it too. I just know it's controversial. I think it's a good story.
Yeah.
So if you think the
I do.
adaptation is good,
Yeah, I really would put it here. Like I can't think of
really,
any moment where there's like a plot hole in the first movie. I can't really think of any moment where there was like a bad effect or anything, and it pretty much tells the exact same story. Um, so
I
yeah,
think
I would
I
say we
trust you.
found our
Wow.
first perfect overall. Actually, wasn't expecting that, but
Yeah, there's no
there,
bad CGI.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, no,
Acting's
it's
good. I
It's
think the
good.
acting is great. I like Josh Hutcherson.
Yeah,
Um, okay, The
classic.
Giver. I have also read this one and seen the movie, and you've seen The Giver, right?
Yes, I have. I have watched The Giver.
Yes. This one
I
is such an interesting one because it's a YA dystopia with no action. There's one chase scene at the end, but it's really not all that thrilling because the focus of the movie isn't trying to be thrilling or action packed, which is really interesting because the rest of these are. Um, but I really like The Giver, and comparing it to the book, this is one of those ones that I would say the movie is better than the book.
really,
Like every piece of the book that needs a little bit more fleshed out and a little bit more like like a more personal connection to it. Like in the book, I don't really connect to any of the characters that well. It's much more of a clinical look at the story, but the movie actually gives you a personal connection and makes you actually care about the characters. You care about the old man, you care about Jonas, you care about the baby. So in this instance, I would rank the movie higher than the book. And the funny thing is, I was watching a behind the scenes for this movie, and the author also has that take that she was like, I think the movie took my story and made it even better. And
really. Wow,
so
that's
I
good.
would put this bad boy all the way up here,
You're
And
putting
it's
it in
brave.
S.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't
Cuz it doesn't
on
really deviate. It
on
just kind of adds.
cinematography and visual effects and score.
Oh yeah. Like
Really, I don't.
I think it's a bold choice to make most of your movie black and white. That's a really bold choice, and I think it really works with the story because every time Jonas like runs into somebody he cares about, like a little bit of color like
That's
on the
true.
girl's hair and stuff, I think the visual storytelling is really cool there. And then like acting, I am a huge Jeff Bridges fan. I really like Jeff
It's a
Bridges.
good movie. I'll give it to you. I'll
Yeah.
give it to you. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
done it, but I'll give it to you.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got Twilight. Let's
F. We
put
don't
him
even need
in.
to talk about it.
Let's put him in the Last Jedi. Moving on, we have Dune. So
Okay.
I have also read this one and seen both parts. I think we do need to take both parts together because both parts cover the first book.
Okay.
Um, I'm curious what you. I don't think we've ever talked about Dune. What do you think of the Dune movies?
I watched when this is so. How do I want to word this? Controversial take here on Dune. But I want to give
Oh boy.
context because your mind's gonna be blown, or you'll think it's funny. I watched Dune not in theater, but on HBO Max on a
Ah.
projector with my buddy and some of our friends, and we had no speakers except for the projector speaker. So we watched
Oh,
it with
that's rough.
subtitles, and me and my buddy made fun of the whole movie the entire time because my buddy was a nerd and read all the books, and he was like getting like super nerdy, and it was annoying. But I love him. We're much better friends now than back then. Uh, so I thought it was the best, crossover since Infinity War, just because of all the actors they had as like
It is a
Thanos and
stacked
Aquaman.
cast.
Uh, I thought it was boring. I thought the cinematography was great, visual effects were great, but then again, I couldn't hear what was happening. So of course, you watch a movie
So
on
could you
mute.
hear the soundtrack at all?
No, but I've heard
It's
it
this,
since.
dude. The Hans Zimmer soundtrack is
hmm
amazing.
So my wife and I are going to be rewatching the first and second one before the third one comes out. The
Okay,
second one
nice.
I thought was much better. I watched it in theater. I had a
Mm-hmm.
hotter take then, but then I watched a YouTube recap and was like, "Oh, that actually makes sense." So,
Yeah.
not my favorite movies overall, but I think they are some
Yeah.
probably superior movies.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I agree that the second part is better because that's when the story really picks up and starts really going somewhere. And then like the action, there's just a little bit more action in the second part,
hmm
I feel
hmm
like. But yeah, like if I'm ranking like casting choices, they fit the characters perfectly. Acting is great. I mean, like we said, it's a stacked cast, so many big names, and then the cinematography. Denis Villeneuve again, like he's able to sell scale like unlike any other
Oh,
filmmaker I've ever seen. Like those huge spaceships look so cool and he always puts something in the frame to reference so that it actually looks really big. So yeah, absolutely 10 out of 10 on all fronts from me. And it's also pretty much like the perfect adaptation as far as it didn't deviate from the story. It had to condense some things because of, I mean, they already had to divide the book into two movies to cover everything. And even then they had to take some various like things out to keep the storytelling concise. Um, so yeah, I would put it in perfect overall, just from every single standpoint. It really did tell the story, and it told the story like it did justice to the story, like very much so. So that's what I would rank Dune. Uh, it's and that leads perfectly into Lord of the Rings, which
Lord of the Rings.
I think you and I already both know where this is going.
Put it up there. Put it
So
up there.
it's going up there. Honestly,
But
like what is there to say that everybody else hasn't already said?
I have a
Like,
hot take.
you
I
know,
have a hot take.
oh, give us your hot take.
Lord of the Rings hot take here. I had watched the extended edition first. I
Hmm.
started to watch them. I think I watched it once, not extended, and that was not a good choice because I the extended edition all the way. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
read the books till yet. Last year was the first time I read the books for Lord of the Rings,
Okay.
and then I went back and watched the movies, and it felt like I was watching a montage of the books.
Really?
But I'll give you this: this was the first time I didn't watch it extended edition, so I watched just a regular. They blow past, like it just feels like you're zooming through that movie. What
Ah,
takes like
okay.
them a year in the book, and you spend half the book on takes 30 minutes to an hour. But according to our rules on this tier list, they stick to the theme. They deliver everything that needs to be delivered. They flesh out characters. But also the books are this big. It takes I think 22 to 24 hours to get through a book on
Yep.
average, and they've condensed it into 3.5 hours.
Yep.
Book to movie. I mean, I think they execute. I mean, groundbreaking visual effects, cinematography.
Yeah.
I think you put it in S tier as a trilogy, even.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, like when I read the books, I was surprised at how much was not in, like the Scouring of the Shire or the
Yeah,
Tom Bombadil sequence. But when I think about what that would have done to the movies, I'm very glad that they left him out. Like, because let's be honest, I love Tom Bombadil as much as the next guy, but he has no effect on the story at all, and he really doesn't have to be there. And so it really would have dragged the movie pacing way down if they had to put him in. And then same with the Scouring of the Shire. You've beaten the evil Dark Lord, and then you go fight a bunch of bandits in your epilogue. And that works for a book because a book can do that, but a movie just it really just doesn't work.
the
It just
pacing would
doesn't
be
work.
off.
And it would have taken an already like 3 hour movie and made it like a 4 hour movie.
Now, I will
So
say, if they have scenes of that movie, if they filmed those things, and they're just sitting in the back lot in storage,
bring
break
them
it
out.
out. Let's watch it.
Yeah. I
I'm not
have
gonna
heard
complain.
I have heard that Warner Bros has like 30 hours of unused footage for all three of those
What does that
movies.
mean, though? Is that like
I don't
30
know. I don't know what
hours
that
of
means.
like outtakes?
Because I was gonna say it could be a lot of like stuff that's not even like polished or anything at all.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. So it's hard to know, but I do know the scene where Frodo looks into the reflection when he's with Galadriel, and he sees like the hobbits like all chained up and whatever, and she's like, "This what might happen." That was kind of their way of acknowledging the Scouring of the Shire,
yeah,
where they shot it to make it look like that's what would have happened. Like the Scouring of the Shire would have happened had he failed to destroy the ring, which I thought
yeah.
was cool, like at least to kind of nod to it.
I like
But
that.
there's a really cool fact about the Lord of the Rings movies where they put in so much effort to keep all of Tolkien's dialogue in, where even in the scenes where they couldn't have a specific character say the line from the book, they gave the exact same line to a different character. That way they could keep as much of Tolkien's exact dialogue as they could.
Oh,
I
that's
can't remember all
fascinating.
the examples, but there's a lot of them where like Frodo would say a line, but they had Gandalf say it instead because it just, for whatever reason, it was going to work in a different way. But I just like the commitment to keep as much of the exact dialogue because that's what people are looking for in an adaptation is they want to see what's on the page and they want to see it visualized.
Hmm.
And so when a movie doesn't do it, it's extremely frustrating.
I will say I didn't read the books. I actually listened to the books. I listened to
I
Andy
also,
Serkis read it.
yeah. Oh, I did. I the same for me. Same for
Perfect.
me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's the best way to consume it.
Yeah. I consider audiobooks as reading them. To the people who don't think listening to an audiobook does, like, if you say to me like, hey, that doesn't count, what do you mean? Who are we trying to impress? I intook the story same as you did, even though I didn't read the, so I think that's a really dumb argument.
Yeah, I
Almost every single book we've discussed, I probably listened to it on audiobook. There were a few that I actually didn't read. But anyway, well then, The Hobbit. The other side to this coin
we have to
of
do a trilogy.
adaptations. Yeah, it has,
Other
because
side
yeah,
is
the
the best
trilogy
way to put it.
covers.
Other
Yeah,
side,
because
awful.
the well, so there are good moments, much like the Star Wars prequels. There are really good moments that I like in The Hobbit, but there are so many moments that I don't that I don't
There's
like. Uh,
I actually read this book with my eyes, and I've done it. I've read through it multiple times. I love this book. It's a great story.
it's a good book.
It's a
Yeah,
good book, and it should never have been more than two movies. It could have been a
yeah,
3.5 hour movie, and it should have been.
yeah. It should
That
have been
movie,
a
that whole
two-parter.
trilogy drags. The whole thing
It
drags.
really does. It's kind of like the Mockingjay thing, where the middle movie just kind of ends with no resolution or anything. Like, if they had to do a trilogy, which they shouldn't have, but if they had to, they should have ended the movie with Smog getting killed, and that would have provided some sort of resolution. And then you set up the third movie by like the armies gathering and
Yeah,
stuff. But instead they just kind of cut it where Smog is on his way to Lake Town. So yeah, definitely shouldn't have been a trilogy. It was such a rush production. Um, I would make the argument though that it's not a good adaptation, but it is watchable. I would at least make the argument that The Hobbit is at least watchable.
is that the yellow one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's right underneath acceptable.
I think that's
Like,
good.
because if for no other reason, whenever Andy Serkis is on screen as Gollum, like that scene is perfection, like taken directly from the book, the Game of Riddles. Like, it's great, that scene in the first
It's so
movie. And then
good.
there's various other scenes that have bright spots, and then I think the guy who played Thorin did an excellent job. Like, he knocked that role out of the park. It's just too bad that the movies overall weren't very good.
I know. It's true. What's up
All
next?
right. All right, Joe. This is our last one. Or wait, no, we have The Outsiders. The Outsiders is our next one. So I've never seen the movie or read the book, so you'll have to take the reins on this one.
I will. So, Outsiders. The Outsiders, I think, is perfect as a perfect adaptation. They stick to the
Okay.
story really well. They deliver dialogue. It's a book to movie, so they have to cut some things down. Uh, All-star cast: I think Patrick Swayze, Tom Cruise, Ralph
Yeah.
Macchio. The list goes on. I'm missing people. The guy from Young Guns is in it. Uh, yeah, it's just a good movie. I remember reading the book and I was like, they made a movie? And I watched the movie and I was like, yeah, I read the book. This all happened. And I was like 12,
Nice.
so I was a little underwhelmed, but looking back on it, it was really good. And the one thing I remember that they didn't keep in the movie is in the book he takes like 12 ibuprofen, and in the movie he does not take 12 ibuprofen. I'll
Uh,
let that slide just because they don't want to encourage kids to take 12 ibuprofen after
yeah.
being in a gang fight. It's like you already been in a gang fight, so whatever. But I would put it up there. Like, it's just spot on.
Nice. All right, we got another perfect overall. Okay. Our
I'm
last one.
surprised by how many perfect overalls there are.
Yeah, we got 5 perfect overalls. We got 3 perfect adaptations, 4 acceptables, 1 good but not good but watchable. Great story, didn't read for 2 of them, and then we have 2 The Last Jedi's. Um, so we have one more. We have The Godfather.
This is a
I've never
book
read the book.
adaptation.
I've never read the book. I've
Neither
never
have
seen
I.
the movie either.
I haven't seen the
So
movie, but here's the thing: we don't have to. We don't have to read the book or watch the movie because we both know it's overrated.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree.
the
So
main
Last
actor that
Jedi?
everyone loves, he's not even good in any of his other movies he's acted in. It's well known.
No.
People hate this guy, but they think
Well, I
he's
mean,
so great in The
he was one of
Godfather.
the worst actors to work with. Like you hear stories about Marlon Brando, it's
Yeah,
insane. It's insane.
Marlon
So yeah,
Brando on the set of Superman didn't even memorize his lines. He had them on cue
no.
cards and literally was reading them for
Yep.
all his scenes. I don't think it's yeah. I've never been like I have to watch this movie. I think it looks slow. I think it looks boring. Uh, I but I'm not gonna watch it for a while. I think you put it in F.
I
It
think
shouldn't
we go
even been
Last
written.
Jedi.
It should never been
Yep.
written.
I think that's a pretty fair judgment. So
Yeah.
that's
So we're gonna talk about editing. Asa edits. He's an editor here at Film Unleashed, and we're gonna do origin stories, but we've been filming forever. So if you want origin stories of Asa or and myself, come back in the future. We'll cover them, and we'll just talk about like our short form or not short form. We'll talk about our short films we made as kids and like that journey. It's gonna be fun. If you're a filmmaker, you're gonna think that's great and relate. Editing though. Here's the question I've gotten a lot recently from people who are getting into filmmaking or getting into, editing videos for companies. They're doing brand films, they're doing shorts, they're doing podcasts. Here's the question. How do you know what to cut? You should cut, 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 but how do you know what to leave in, what's good? And Asa, as someone who does this literally every day, where should people start?
right. And a lot of times it can feel overwhelming, especially when you have like say you're editing an interview together and it needs to be 2 minutes long. And so you have a lot of stuff that you have to cut. So then you have to ask yourself, what's the intention of the video? What kind of story are they trying to tell? So I'll use an example for Instructs. This is a company that made a website that you can teach music lessons on virtually, and it has a lot less lag. And so my goal is to trim down a lot of stuff that doesn't support that story. Their intention for the video is we have this platform and you as a music teacher don't have to worry about tech because a music teacher doesn't need to worry about tech, they just need to worry about teaching music. And so everything that the interviewee talks about needs to support that idea. And so you go through each one and you can start small by cutting the things that you know are going to be out. That would be things like long silences and lines that they mess up. Find all the takes that they actually get good, and that will cut your runtime down and that might help your decision making a little bit more. Once you get to where you have all the right takes, then you have to start making the decision. And here's the interesting thing about editing, and part of why I like it so much is sometimes it comes down to intuition. You might have two good takes. One of them has to go. You have to decide. Sometimes you just have to feel it out and think, which one do I like better? And if I like them both the same, then I just have to pick one. And you just kind of have to go with your gut and just figure out when you have to cut. Um, a really cool YouTuber named Every Frame of Painting kind of explores this idea because he edits for films, and that's basically what it comes down to is once you've done everything you can to support the story, then you have to decide with your gut, and you have to know what's going to look better. Should you hold on a certain shot longer? Does that support the scene? Or should you hold on a shot for really quick, and does that support the scene? So that's really what it comes down to at the end is once you've done everything you can objectively, then you just kind of have to go with your intuition.
Yeah. Okay. So practically, like bullet points, it's what's the goal of the video? What's the story we're trying to tell? Get rid of the all the bad stuff that you can't use anyways, like silence and whatnot. And then yeah, so maybe people who are just starting like just go in and grab the stuff. Don't even try to delete the stuff. Go grab the stuff you know you have to use, and then say what else do
Yep.
I like, and maybe even separate that in a timeline. What do you think about that, Asa?
Oh, definitely. Like if you go in and you get the stuff that you know is going to play well, get all of that first, and that will probably fill out your video most of the time. Sometimes you have to go in, I mean, Instructs as an example again, where I had everything put together, but I needed like 10 more seconds of audio. So then I had to go in and just find which one do I think will play the best, and then just find that one.
You'd made a good comment on a YouTube video we're editing. For you, those of you who don't know, we've been filming YouTube videos, or no, we've been filming behind the scenes for YouTube videos, and we're trying to figure out. We just want to go crush YouTube. That's like the next thing we're gonna learn. We grew up making movies, not social media, and like this is we're diving in. We're gonna do it, and we're gonna give it our all. But we had really funny moments, some really fun jokes, and Asa was like, "We don't have room for this. Like for pacing to like get people to like they clicked on the video, and this is taking up too much time." So we cut it, we moved it around, but even if we cut it, we can make shorts out of it. Like we have a thumbs up counter that was a funny bit that's at the end of the video that no one will probably ever watch. But I was
Yep.
talking to Peyton about shorts, and I was like, honestly, we could just clip that. That's hilarious. Just like a thumbs up counter. Maybe it gets 500 views, maybe it doesn't, maybe it gets more, but
Yeah.
it's still fun. The general our regulars would think it's funny.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yep, a lot of times you have to cut the thing that you might like, which is always difficult, but you always have to put the story first. It's a good example because there were at least three different like bits or like gags from that video that I was positive were going to be left in, but once we really found the identity of what that video needed to be, there was absolutely no room for those jokes anymore and they had to be cut out completely. Like the so yeah, definitely, definitely.
Well, yeah, and but that's where shorts are great. We can repurpose content, reuse, recycle. I mean, with this podcast, we're gonna make clips. We're gonna have AI make clips after we make clips. Uh, we probably won't cut a lot from this. We are gonna edit it. I plan to add stuff to this video, which you've probably already seen. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna edit this. Ace is going out of town next week, and
That's right.
we want to keep this content going. So I'm gonna edit, which is gonna be fun. Uh, yeah, which is great. And then Asa will judge me. It'll be a fun competition. Asa
Yeah.
reacts to the podcast. But yeah, I mean that's what it comes down to. Any other editing tips you got up your sleeves at the moment that, or something you've done this week that would be fun to share?
Let me think. You can cut the silence here. Let me just think. Like, what did I do this week?
I'm
Because
gonna
I
totally
mean,
get Asa for all the
yeah.
times I've said to cut this and he doesn't, and our behind the scenes.
No. Dang
Loading
it.
symbol.
You're right. You're just gonna yeah, he's definitely gonna leave all of this in. Okay, but here's the thing though. You can use watching YouTube to greatly benefit your own editing. I watch YouTube for fun all the time. I probably watch like 10 hours a week of YouTube. And I use that time to decompress, to relax in the evening. But it serves a double purpose because you can use editing by referencing other videos. You use like you're not copying, you're copying concepts. So like an intro, for example, if you can see what a good intro looks like, that's going to help inform decisions you make to make your own intro. And so, whenever I'm sitting down and watching YouTube, no matter what it is, I'm taking notes of the type of decisions people are making. And then I just kind of file those away for later. And you can ask Joe, I'm kind of an archive when it comes to YouTube. Like Joe's like, we're needing this kind of idea. What YouTubers do that thing? And I'm like, well, this guy and this guy does it, and this guy kind of does that one. Like I genuinely just I nerd out about YouTube, and I will watch so many videos in a day, and I use all that information to help me make decisions. Because like if you're having a pacing issue, go watch a video that you think is really well paced, and then find out what they're doing. Um, what order are they giving information? Like is are they giving you all of it at the same time in a bullet point list? Are they giving it over time? Are they doing like there's a lot of different ways you can disperse information in a video. How are the big YouTube channels doing it? And you can go and look at that and then put it into your own video. That's what I would say I've been utilizing this week.
That's great. I think, yeah, no, I've done that before. If you're watching this video, that's the best thing you can do. Take notes. Taking notes when you watch YouTube videos on the video itself is huge. Uh, Here's something you can do. Here's a fun hack. You can download a YouTube video, like right, you rip it, drop it into DaVinci, click scene detect, and it'll go through and make a cut where every time the shot changes. And then what you do is you go back through and you color code it to the different sections, your intro, your beginning, your middle, end. And then you can even parse it out into smaller sections. And as you take notes, you can really start to break down what they've done. We did that.
Yeah.
I did that for a video. And then I applied all that to one, I think it was the TikTok video, which got a decent amount of views for YouTube. Typically we're doing like 100, 200 views, and we got 1,400, I think, at 1.1. I don't remember. And that video is much better, and we learned so much from that video. And those videos were just playing around testing, and now it's like, okay, how can we take that knowledge and apply it to behind the scenes videos of shoots to where we can teach you guys. You guys can come have fun. And then on top of that, the big learning curve was we're filming a whole production, and now I have to act or just be aware of another video that's being made about me and make sure it's directed and we're hitting parts. So we just shot from the hip. So now I'm excited to this weekend, take all that planning I learned, write some scripts and just outlines for videos with actual concepts, and then apply that to, what we've learned from filming behind the scenes. And I'm curious to see what comes out. If we can actually, grow a YouTube channel.
Yep.
Yeah. But
I think we got it.
We did it.
I think we got what we need.
If you watched the end of this video, you're a real one. It was a massive video. We want to say thank you. We're giving you a thumbs up. We're not even asking for likes anymore. We're done with that. Thumbs up to you. Leave a comment if you made it to the end of this video. And Ace and I will both like it and comment and give you big hearts. And yeah. And maybe we'll even shout you out in the next one. Yeah, that'd be fun if you made it to the end. Yeah, but make sure the timestamp is there. Well, anyways, guys, there's another video, I'm sure, if you want to watch. Maybe this is our first one, so we might link it to the Film Unleashed, but watch a video here, and we will see you next time.